Welcome. We've got a simple Tantra Hatha practice for calming and stabilizing the mind. A little bit quicker, perhaps, than some of the other classes we've recorded. Hopefully in this one we'll be done with asana in about 30 minutes, and then we'll do pranayama and meditation. So this is for those of you who are a little bit busier. Thank you, Eb, for demonstrating for us.
Not a problem.
And let's get started. So we're going to start with a joint rotation sequence. So if you haven't done this before, you can just watch. You get on your hands and knees, and then just take the right leg and start to swing it forward and back like Eb is doing. Perfect. And you can even move the ankle in time with the movements as well. What we're doing here is moving the hip, the knee, the ankle, maybe even the toes, getting things warmed up and lubricated. We'll do about 7 on each side. So did you do 7? Probably. And then we'll do circle. So it'll be, so do the right still, but forward and around and then back, exactly. And about 7 of those. So what we're really aiming to do is move the hip in all the directions that it goes. Cool, and you can go fast or slow, whatever feels right to you, and anywhere between 5 and 10, so around about 7. Cool. Then you'll switch directions on the same leg, so that'll be right. It's like back and then around and then forward. That's it. And whenever you've done around 7 ebb, give me 2 more forward and back, and then you can switch sides. That's it, you got it. And we just keep the upper body kind of stable as we go. You can go straight ahead into the other leg. And really keep your awareness in what you're doing. The whole part of the beauty of yoga is having our awareness merged into the body in the present moment time. So that's it, switching to the circles, forward, around and back. You can make them really big, kind of small, just catering to your mood. And then you switch directions. So now it's back, around and forward. And you can breathe any way you want here. It doesn't have to be special, just even regular breaths. And then a couple forward and back just to reset the hips, and then you can take that foot down. Cool, let's do a couple cat-cows, just really quick, warming up the spine. So all you're doing here is flexing and extending the spine. It doesn't need to be fancy. You can take your awareness into each of the vertebrae as you move. And you can tie your breath in however it makes sense to you. Usually that's exhaling as you round, and inhaling as you arch. Just a couple more. If there's any other movements you want to make, sideways, forward and back, you can do that now. Beautiful. Great, and then we're just going to sit back on the knees, and we're going to do the same rotation sequence with the shoulders. We're just going to go back with the right arm, and again, maybe 10. But stay present here. Really take your awareness. You can close your eyes and take your awareness into the shoulder girdle. Feeling that synovial fluid starting to build, the warmth, heat building. And you can switch sides. You can go fast or slow, whatever feels right. Maybe starting to deepen the breath a little bit here. You can switch arms. Letting your awareness start to settle into the different components. So that's your awareness of the body moving, your awareness of the breath. Change directions. Perfect. Then we're going to settle a little bit through some belly breathing. So just sitting back on your heels like you are, you're going to take your hands to the belly. If this is really difficult for your knees, you can sit up on something like a bolster or a block, or however you need to make it happen. Just make sure you're comfortable, hands to the belly. And first we just want to check, is the belly expanding as we breathe? For some people, that alone is quite a difficult challenge. You can have your eyes closed, or sometimes it can help us actually to settle, to calm the nervous system a little more if we have the eyes softly open. Not necessarily focused on something, but just leaving them gazing. We just want to feel that belly expand into the hands with each breath in. And that natural relaxation of the belly back towards the spine as you breathe out. When we do this kind of yoga practice that's for calming, we really want to make sure that we start off in a calm state. And then we're going to come back to hands and knees. And we're going to do, you'll see this a lot in my videos, a really great way to warm up. And it's a 4-part movement. I'll show you it first and then we'll tie it into the pace of breathing. So the first movement is here on all fours. You'll take a breath in. And as you exhale, you'll go back to child's pose. As you breathe in, you'll come back to all fours. And as you exhale, you'll go back to down dog. So this is your 4 parts. It doesn't have to be a fancy down dog. So let's keep moving. Breathing in, coming back to all fours. And then just hold there for a sec, Eb. What we're going to do now, you can breathe. What we're going to do now is tie in a 4 and 6 count breath. And the reason we're going to do this is when we lengthen the exhale, we really calm, ground, and stabilize the body. We're stimulating that parasympathetic nervous system and really bringing that calm. So take a breath in for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale to child's pose, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Inhale for the count of 4. And what we're doing here is we're making sure the movement matches the pace of breath. So down dog, exhale for 6. And slow motion, make it last that whole 6 count. And then just keep moving in time with your own breath. So into all fours for 4, back to child's pose for 6. Your pace might be different to mine and Eb's. If you're feeling like you're suffocating as you're trying to breathe, then just do what you can. If you don't push yourself at all, it'll never evolve for you. But if you're struggling and suffocating, it's also not helping to calm. So we're going to do a couple more rounds of this. The more you pay attention to the movement of the body and to the count of the breath, the more you will calm and stabilize and ground. So paying attention, slowing the breath as best you can. We're just going to do one more full round. Awareness completely in the body, completely in the breath. And then the next time you end up at downward facing dog, you're going to hold there. So your body is going to stay really still now in downward facing dog, but your breath is going to continue that round of 4 in, 6 out. So you have to really pay attention now, counting the breath. And we keep the body really still so that we can see what arises, reactivity, maybe unpleasantness. And we're training ourselves how to be with this as it is. It's also okay to make a couple of adjustments in the beginning of your down dog. It's really totally fine to have bent knees here. That's actually what we want because we want to prioritize length through spine. Really this practice, this particular Tantra Hatha practice is really all about what we're doing with our spine. So we want to always keep it long and straight. That includes tucking the chin just slightly so there's length through the back of the neck. And everything is still but the breath. So even the eyes are still, fingers are still. We're resisting that urge to move and to fidget, which is what we do when we are uncomfortable. Good. And we want to be here at least for 5 breaths. I assume you have been. So on your next breath out, you're going to walk your feet to your hands. Nice and slowly. Knees can be bent. Beautiful. And you're just going to hang in a fold for a second. You can have hip width distance feet or really any preference of where you like them. And all we're going to do here is keep the spine straight and long. So if you have tight hamstrings, bend the knees. And then we're going to move through a series of half lifts and forward folds, counting the breath. So half lift as you breathe in on a count of 4. And exhale, fold back forward over a count of 6. So make that movement slow. And just do 2 more of those. Half lift, breathe in, counting to 4. And exhale out, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Keep the body still. Keep moving with the breath at 4 and 6. Nope, so keep your body, stay in the fold. So staying in the fold and then breathing 4 in, 6 out. You can have the hands on the floor. They can be holding your ankles. You can have hands on the elbows as long as you are remembering to stay still So Tantra Hatha is a little different in the sense that we're really encouraging stillness of mind. So it's quite different to more the flowy styles of yoga. And that's okay, they all have their place. What we're doing here is training ourselves to be non-reactive, to be calm. And also in any forward fold, we're generating a type of energy called apana vayu. And this is a grounding, stabilizing, eliminating force in the body. Great. At the end of your next exhale, take hands to hips and then rise up slowly on an in-breath, pushing into the feet. Keep the chin tucked to chest to stop any dizziness. Keep it tucked as you exhale, release the hands. Good, and then you can lift the chin, just standing normally and just feeling the effects of this calming, grounding energy. Beautiful. Feeling the feet on the floor, noticing the breath. All right, now we're going to move into a warrior one. So we're going to step the left foot back and we're going to keep the feet hip width distance actually. So sometimes it can be, we're used to having the feet in line, but what we're going to do is have them wide so we can keep the hips really square for this particular kind of warrior one. So the front leg is bent, so the knee is over the ankle, and we lift our arms up. And then in this style of warrior one, we're going to have a little bend to remove any arching in the lower back. So we're going to lean forward is what I mean. And we're going to see that makes that nice straight flat back. Cool. We're going to push a lot into this back left foot, into the outer edge of the foot. And so we feel ourselves being quite grounded to the floor. Spine is long and straight. Chin is chucked perfectly. Thank you. And we're just doing an even breath. Really paying attention to the breath, noticing the calming effect of those deeper, slower breaths. Good. Take a big breath in, start to straighten the front leg. And we're going to bring the left hand behind we're going to bring the right hand behind the back of the palm to the back, exactly. Left arm stays up. We're going to keep the spine long and straight here. Take a big breath in. And as we exhale, we're going to fold forward to a pyramid, but we're just going to come as far as we can before the biceps starts to drop from the ear. Inhale, back up for a count of 4. And we're going to keep doing this over the count of 6. So exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep moving in time with your breath. If you have really open hamstrings, you can definitely touch the floor. That's okay. You can also bend the right knee slightly if that helps, but it is better to keep it mostly straight. Priority though is just on length through the spine. And then the next time you fold forward, keep your 6 count breath going. And at the end of the exhale, release the right hand. And you can find a block perhaps, or the floor, or your own shin. And just bend really honestly to where you can go. I like to take my right hand onto my right thigh. Yeah, exactly. Onto the right thigh, or the ankle even, or both hands on the blocks. It doesn't really matter. Priority here is on squareness through hips and length through the spine. So you could even tuck your chin actually that's perfect. Beautiful. So we don't want to overdo it. We just want to find a place that's honest and true. And we're keeping that 4 count in, 6 count out going while we hold stillness in the pose. We're going to hold here for at least 5 rounds of that 4-6 breath. Do you know where you're at, Eb?
We've got 2 more breaths to go.
2 more breaths to go. Beautiful. Everybody's pace of breath is going to be different. The end of your next exhale, take hands to hips. And then we're going to rise up strongly on an in-breath. Keep the chin tucked to chest. Step the foot to meet the front and release the hands, exhale. Good, just feeling the effects of that forward fold and the apana vayu that we generated, that calming, grounding force in the body. And then we're simply going to switch sides. So you can step right foot back this time, keeping that hip width distance stance, hips are square. And we're going to bend into our warrior one. So knee stays over ankle, arms reach overhead, biceps by ears. And then we take that forward lean so that we're really flat through the lower back and we've got a long straight spine, chin is tucked. Pushing quite strongly into the outer edge of the right foot. And even calm breath. You could even do your 4 in, 6 out if that's really working and resonating with you. We're doing that for about 5 breaths, so maybe 1 or 2 more. Yeah. On your next breath in, you're going to straighten that front leg, take the opposite arm behind your back, so that's the same arm behind the back. Good, and then a big breath in for 4. And we fold forward into pyramid over 6. Just as far as we can go. Then breathing back in over that count of 4, and really keep that count alive inside your own mind. The more you pay attention to the count, the more you will ground and calm. This is all about energy, and in order for energy to move and flow, we need to take our awareness with it. Honoring where you can go on this side. This will be the last time you rise up. And then take your 6 count fold forward. But this time release that left hand and then find your block, your thigh, your shin, whatever works for you. I even have clients who just use a chair because their hamstrings are really tight. So really honoring where your body is. You can put a little bend in the front knee if you need to. But hips stay really square. That's the most important part. And spine super long and straight. Keeping with your 4 in and 6 out breath, remembering that the more you concentrate, the more you will generate this prana. Good. At the end of your next exhale, hands to hips. And then rising up strongly on an in-breath. Keep the chin tucked. Back foot steps to the front. So step to the front, release the hands, and feel into the poses. Feeling feet on the floor, the style of the breath. Really seeing for yourself if you can feel into what apana vayu is. A calming, grounding sensation. All right, perhaps a little less calming. We're going to do warrior 3. So hands to heart center. We're going to start with the right leg planted first. So warrior 3 requires a firm, grounded right leg, strong and straight-ish. It's okay to have a little bend in the knee. And then we're going to just fold forward from the waist and left leg goes behind. So lifting left leg up. Yep, you got it. It's okay if you're not vertical, but hips should be square. And sometimes your foot may be more down here, that's okay. And we're just doing 5 even breaths. So that might be 4 in, 4 out if it helps you to count. 6 in, 6 out, whatever it is, just even breaths. Even breaths give us stability and balance. Is that about 5? All right, fold forward to standing split. Standing split could be right arm behind right ankle and left supporting on the floor. It could be both hands on the floor. It could be both hands around the ankle if you want to try that. If that destabilizes you, put your left hand back to the floor. And again, there's 5 even breaths here. We're going to point our toe on this one, and we're keeping hips square, and we only lift this leg as far as we can without starting to unsquare the hip. So this is perfect for ebb. Some people can be all the way up here, some people here. What's important is this long, straight spine, even breaths. And I think that's about 5, so we're going to reach back to a lunge. So you're just going to take this left foot to the floor. And then we want to make sure that we've reached back far enough that our knee isn't over our ankle. So you could widen a little more. Perfect. All right, we're going to take our hand to a block. You don't have to, but try it the first time. And we're going to take a twist. So we're going to do that on an exhale. So take a deep breath in while you're straight. And then exhale, reach the right arm up to the sky. We're just going to hold here. But what's important is that you can feel your belly breathing into the right thigh. If you can't, squeeze, or in any case, squeeze your right knee towards your left shoulder. Yeah, that's it. Now the arm doesn't have to be up. It could also just be on your hip. And you don't have to look up at the hand. You just take your head wherever is comfortable. Now, you want to be breathing deeply in and out. If you cannot breathe deeply, you need to back out of the twist a little bit. Twists can be very provocative. They can bring a lot of things up. So we only want to make sure that we're going as far as we can to keep an even breath. You might feel irritated in this pose. You might not like me very much. So we just stay with it. We feel what's there. We feel the heat build. We keep squeezing right knee to left thigh. Big deep breaths, fully expanding that belly into the thigh. We want to be here for about 10 breaths. Does that feel like 10? Yeah, so take one more big one in and out. And then untwist on an inhale. And we're going to step the right foot up to the front. And rise up to standing, nice and slow, exactly, and just hold and feel. It might not feel as calming, maybe there's a different sensation, so just feeling into that. Twist generates something called samana vayu. This is our balancing, our digestive force. All right, let's do that same little sequence on the other side. So warrior 1 first. So that's left foot grounded into the floor, hands to heart center. And we're just going to lift the right leg behind us, keeping the hips as square as we can. If this is too challenging, you can always put your hands down onto a block. We just want to make sure the hips are square, so you could drop that right one a little more. And 5 deep, even breaths. It's really important to take those even, strong breaths. If you can't, find some way to make the pose a little bit easier. Even breath is always the priority. And then we're going to fold to standing splits. So you can use the floor to support the hands, or you could wrap one or both hands around the ankle, your choice. Point the toe on this one. Hips stay square, so maybe lift a little less. Exactly. We're working to have a straight leg, the one we're standing on, but you can have a little bend. Even deep breaths. And I think that's about 5, so step back to the lunge. And then we want to check our length to make sure we've got knee over ankle. Beautiful. So hands, right hand on a block. You don't need that. You just try it out, see how you go. And then we're going to take a deep breath in while we hold straight. And we're going to exhale on a twist. We're going to twist on an exhale is more correct. Good. It's not important to look up to the hand. The hand doesn't even have to be up. What's important is that we're breathing into that left thigh and that those are full, deep breaths. That's the most important thing. So if a fuller, deeper breath is better for you, if you come out of the twist a little bit, do that. Squeezing right shoulder to the left knee is how you'll get the most out of this twist. We want to be here for 10 breaths, and you should know 10 because you should be counting And you can either just count each breath, or you can do 4 in, 4 out, or 6 in, 6 out, whatever helps you to have the most even, calm, and present breath. This is a really challenging, or can be a really challenging pose. So we want to breathe our way through to get the most out of it. Again, building that capacity for us to digest and stabilize our life experiences, and that's this samana vayu. All right, maybe 1 more in, 1 more out. Untwist on an in-breath. Good, and this time we're going to step back to downward facing dog. Just to stabilize, just to ground. Even breaths. Just walk your hands back to your feet for me for a moment. And just take a little forward fold. I just want 5 big breaths here. And I want you to feel the belly expanding into the thighs. I always want to settle any of the twist work we do with a little bit of apana vayu, with some forward folding. Good, and then walk the hands back out so you're in a plank position, and then we're just going to lower down to the floor. Doesn't matter how you get there, anyway. Good, and then release, relax, either forehead to the floor or head to one side. All right, and then we're going to take bow pose. So what we do there is we bend the knees and we reach behind with the hands to grab the ankles. Feet are flexed. Yep, that's it. And what we're doing here is we're just going to pull the upper body up by pulling the legs away. Yeah, so inhale, rise up. And we're going to hold here 5 breaths. I want you to feel your body balancing on your belly as you take big breaths in. Like you could almost lift yourself with the inhale. You might find you balance or move a little bit with each breath, and you're just really trying to pull away with the legs as you balance on the belly, feeling those big breaths, expanding all the organs into the floor. And perfect. Eb just chucked her chin a little bit. It can be really helpful to actually keep the chin tucked in this pose. All right, 1 more big breath in, and release and exhale. And go ahead and push back to child's pose. Couple big breaths, feeling the belly here. All right, and then coming up, we're going to sit down now. And we're going to do which side do you want? We're going to do a seated twist. So super easy. We're going to take the left heel under the right butt and then the right leg up and over. And if this is impossible for you, you would just do my variation, which is a straight left leg and right leg up and over, or just right leg like so. And then we're going to take the right hand behind us. Inhale up the left arm. That's to encourage our spine to be long and straight. And then exhale, we're going to wrap the thigh and twist. And we're just going to feel into the belly, expanding into the thigh as we breathe. You can keep the chin quite tucked here as well. Really keep your awareness in what's happening. So feeling that belly expand, noticing the changes of energy in the body. If we had heaps of time, we would hold this pose for at least 2 minutes. So if you're at home and you want to experiment with holding longer, you can. And for us here, we're just going to take 1 or 2 more breaths. And we always unravel on an in-breath. So your next breath in, just gently unravel. And we're just going to sit, it's kind of in exactly the position we are, just taking a few breaths. And then we switch sides. So it's right heel under left glute and left leg up and over. Or if you want to take the easier variation, it's just right leg out straight. Left hand goes behind. We encourage a straight spine as we breathe in. And as we exhale, we bind the left thigh and we twist to the left. And then we feel the belly make contact with the inner left thigh. And we keep our awareness here. Resisting any temptation to just wander off in thought and instead staying fully present to what's happening with the breath. Just 1 or 2 more. Unraveling on an in-breath and just releasing everything and sitting and feeling. And then we're going to take a seated forward fold. So legs straight out in front. If you have really tight hamstrings, you can sit up on a bolster or a block, or you can bend the knees like so. We want a forward tilt of the pelvis, and we're going to bring back in our 4 and 6 count breath. So we're going to reach arms up, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale, folding forward as we count 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In 4, 3, 2, 1, and out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one, rising up and folding forward. This time holding onto ankles or toes or perhaps a strap if you're really tight. We would just release as much as we can into the fold. So no pushing or striving, rather just allowing it to be a natural extension of the spine. Chin is tucked. You can either continue with your 4 in, 6 out breath, or just an even, gentle breath. The priority is on length through spine. Maybe even feeling the belly expand into the thighs as you breathe. And for some people, it might even be all the way up here like so, and that's totally fine. One or 2 more breaths here, releasing, relaxing. Coming up, and all we're going to do now is lay down into Shavasana. If you have a blanket, you could use that. Pillow underneath the legs. If your lower back is feeling funny from all the forward foldings, you can just do a couple of little bridges or pull the knees into the chest or both. And all we're going to do is just feel the weight of the body on the floor. Noticing the parts of you that are heavy. And let there be a sense of melting, of releasing. You can either stay with the sense of heaviness, the body making contact, or you can let your awareness relax too. Giving yourself permission to truly rest. Becoming aware once again of the heaviness of the body. Feeling the places of contact of body to floor. And being fully aware of your transition back to wakefulness. When you're ready, you can start to wiggle fingers and toes, or rub thumb to index finger. And anything else you need to do to return fully. Eventually you can take a little stretch and then we'll meet on our right side. Just taking a couple breaths here, knees to chest. And we're going to come up to a seated position and get ourselves ready for our pranayama and meditation. So take a little moment to gather yourself with your props, finding a nice comfortable seat on the floor or maybe even a chair. Using a blanket or a cushion, whatever it takes to get you to a posture that is both alert and comfortable. We're going to begin with a really simple pranayama, building on our theme from class of the ratio of the 4 and 6 breath. So there are 4 parts to the breath. There's the in-breath, the space between the in and out, the out-breath, and then the space between the out and in. So we're going to be working with the in-breath, the out-breath, and the space at the end of the out-breath. So we're going to do a ratio of 4 on the in, 6 on the out, and then a hold of 2 at the end of the exhale. So we're going to do it together at first, and then I'll leave you to your own because your pace might be different to mine. So exhale all the air out. And breathing in, 4, 3, 2, 1. And out, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 1, 2. And breathing in, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold, 1, 2. And starting to just continue with your own pace. You can make it a little slower or a little faster, but just keeping that ratio the same, a lengthened exhale and a pause at the end of the exhale. And in that pause at the end of the exhale, really place your awareness there. Feel into the stillness of that moment, that nothing is moving, not even the breath. Now we're going to add in alternate nostril breathing. This is using the right hand. We take our right thumb up against the right nostril, left ring finger against the left nostril, right at the point where the bone meets the cartilage. And we're just going to start by breathing in through the left nostril. Block left, open right, exhale through the right nostril.
Breathing in through the right nostril. Block right, open left. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Switch sides. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Switch the block. Exhale through the left. Keep going like this, and if you haven't already, add your 4 in, 6 out, and 2 pause. Making sure the shoulders are relaxed, the jaw is relaxed, that you're not forcing anything. Continuing on, gently breathing 4, 6, 2. Switching the block of the nostrils at the top of each in-breath. Just a couple more rounds. And the next time you breathe out of the left nostril, no hurry, whenever you get there, just return to a normal breath for a few breaths. And then bring your awareness to your whole body. To acknowledge that there's negativity and unhelpful emotions and issues circulating through the body. And what we're going to do is we're going to gather these with the breath. So we're going to begin at the crown of the head. And we're going to draw an inhale from the crown of the head. And we're going to pull it down the spine toward the base. As that inhale comes down the crown and through the body, it's going to gather all the negativity, the unhelpful emotion, anything that doesn't serve, and it's going to draw it to the base, to your perineum, the base of the spine. And then you're going to hold it there, and you're going to exhale it out into the earth, into the center of the earth, down from the base into the earth. Then as the inhale begins again, bring your awareness to the crown of the head, breathing down the spine toward the base, gathering anything that doesn't serve. You're going to hold it at the base, feel the force of it there, and then send it out as you exhale in toward the center of the earth that can hold it all, that is unfazed by whatever you put in its direction. And then breathing in from the crown of the head, drawing down the spine. holding it at the base, everything you've gathered, and then sending it out into the earth. And you're going to keep doing this another 5, 6, or 7 times. Now releasing this technique, visualize a blue triangle that is pointing down to the earth at the base of your spine. So this blue triangle rests at the perineum or base of the spine and points downward to the center of the earth. Even if you don't see color, just thinking about or visualizing or feeling blue as best you can. And then picturing or feeling into the concept of blue lightning shooting out from this triangle into the center of the earth. Focusing on this as best you can, blue lightning from the triangle at the base, grounding into the earth, releasing whatever's not needed. Gathering all of your awareness here at the base, grounded here. And letting yourself simply sit in this groundedness. The invitation is to continue to sit for as long as you like. If you're working with a mantra, you can call that in here. Or if you are finished for today, Let's dedicate our practice to all beings everywhere. Namaste.